under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, we have myself, Amy Freak, Sue Kimball, Carl Newton, Kim Berghammer, and Spiker, and our assistant, Melissa Codier. Everybody get a chance to look at the meeting minutes?
Yes.
Can you give me the motion?
I make a motion that we accept the minutes from August 26th, 2025.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye. Right, additions to agenda, one addition I have is we are removing public forum number 1. We're gonna have the public forum at the end. Only one public. And next we have the septic approval for the Winan property on Forehand Road. Did you have a chance to look at that?
Susan was our septic person, but we have not had a chance to look at the large. Didn't open it up real again. Just came in. It was something.
I make a motion to accept the septic design for Donald Winans on 36 Forehand. A second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Next we have Highway Department. Gil Bolio.
So first, I got a couple of questions for the staff members. Amy, do you remember March 21st when I called you about a 4-foot culvert down on Cash Street?
Yes.
And you asked me to email pictures, stuff from Melissa?
I have.
That happened. Okay. So my question is, you guys say you're not micromanaging me, but why is Carl Newman and Rick Taylor riding around Blues Cruiser handing me a letter telling me not to move forward with replacing the culvert because it's new? Well, obviously, I'm not gonna replace a culvert that's brand new. That was one that my father and I did the year before.
And it was a mistake, and we've spoken about that since. It was a mistake, it was an inadvertent, it happened inadvertently, it was a mistake.
Okay, well, that was one. My next question is, Sue Kimball and her husband have been riding around, following us around, questioning where we're going with ditching material. We've been going to the same places for the last 20, or maybe more years. So you guys say you're not micromanaging, but why all of a sudden do we have so many questions on where stuff and materials going? And then I know Carl Newman saw me up on Barton Road. My father was nice enough to give us some rock off a project he had and a machine to load it. And Mr. Newton went by and saw me with strobe lights going and everything. And I got a report that a taxpayer was concerned that I was trucking for my father. when all the rock that I took off that job for free went to Cash Street job, the culvert that we just did. And I said, we can load them rocks back up and bring them back up there and dump them and buy them, and no one wanted to do that. So why all micromanaging when we say we're not micromanaging? If that's not micromanaging, that's like, what is?
So, for one thing, Carl Newton is a taxpayer in this town and has a vested interest in what happens with town vehicles. And if a town vehicle is on private property, the select board has the right to know. And
That's
I
fine,
asked
so,
one time, I asked you one time.
so why didn't, if he was so concerned, why didn't he stop right at the end of the driveway?
Because you have proven to him that you can't speak to him normally.
I got good reason.
Both ways.
Joe, no more.
But I'll make it short and sweet. Here's my letter of resignation. October 2nd is the last day.
Let the record show Joseph Foley of this quit as road agent. We will take his resignation. I make a motion to accept the resignation for Joseph Foley. Second, all those in favor? You.
I make a motion that we have the administrative assistant read the letter of resignation into the record, please.
Because this has to do with your employment, are you okay with us doing it in
No,
public?
he's asking you a question, Joseph.
You
Really?
can, but I'm gonna ask one more question because I find it kind of odd that my personnel file come up missing and Sue Kimball, I was told straight up that Sue Kimball went looking in there.
Point of order.
You allowed
Point of order.
my personnel file without permission?
Point of order. You are assuming he went into your personal file. We have never seen any, your DOT card.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Letter dated September 21st, 2025, Town of Croydon, to whom it may concern, I'm writing to formally notify you of my resignation from this position of the town road agent. My last day will be October 2nd, 2025. I've been thinking about this decision for some time and feel that it's my best interest to pursue opportunities elsewhere. Sincerely, Joseph Polio Jr.
So I do have one question. Mr. Bolio, do you have any vacation time or other time left?
Sure.
I will get that
We'll look for
information.
you because you are entitled to those days to be paid, or take them before your last day.
All right, timber warrants is next. Yes, I have those.
We had difficulty with all of the IT problems. Can everybody hear me? The mics are on. Okay. We had difficulty through the IT problems. First, getting the computer that would work, and then secondly, printing afterwards, because nothing was hooked up. So we should have them all now. Ms. Kimball, we have another one to work on.
I'll get back to you.
So we had already made motions and second to sign all of these, we just simply didn't have the warrants due to the computer, or not even computer, it was consolidated issues.
Archibald up on, 250 Pine Hill Road has paid the town of Croydon $150 for the lot number B9. And an additional $220 for 4 cornerstones for that said lot located in the Croydon Village Cemetery. We have to make a motion. I make a motion to accept the purchase of the cemetery lot for Mark Archibald, 250 Pine Hill Road. All in favor? Aye. Approve the village.
No, this is the same. Madam Chairman?
Yes. Oh, thank you. You want to take the lead on that? Thank you, sorry.
So we do have an older item up for K.A. Stevens and Son on 37 Aspen Road has brought in an application to become an inspection station for their own fleet. We spoke about it at our last meeting. We went through their file and I found out that 20 years or so ago, they actually had a permit to build out commercial septic, 3 employees. I couldn't find anything in minutes. That was the only thing in their land file that I found. So they did have a permit to expand the business, create that commercial septic. So I'm assuming that they were able to build their business, and they've been doing their business for 20 years or more, and not creating any problems and not having any problems. They're their own abutters, they have their own road, they take care of everything. So I looked for a certificate of compliance, which the Board of Selectmen, per the zoning ordinance, can issue. I couldn't find a certificate of compliance, so I made one. So, if everybody's okay with this, I feel that we can condition the approval per the discussion that we had with Kay Stevens.
She just wants to be able to register, inspect her own fleet
Yes.
on site.
So it would be that the conditions would be there'd be no expanded hours, no expanded traffic, no expanded employees.
You're not turning into a dealer.
Yeah, not turning into a dealer. And then doing that, I think that, you know, after our conversation with Alyssa Stevens, she was comfortable with that, and I feel comfortable in signing the permit and giving her her certificate of compliance. If the board,
I have no questions.
then I make a motion that we sign the dealer permit, condition it with the certificate of compliance, and send it out to Alyssa Stevens.
You made a motion to sign.
The inspection.
Sign
Sign
the
the
inspection permit
Yeah.
and create conditions on the certificate of compliance.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you.
Right. Updates from town clerk, he's not here, so the master plan public hearing is October 1st at 7 PM, right here at this very Croydon Town Hall.
The link is on the website. Anybody can go and look at the master plan. Thank you.
Town clerk tax collector is requesting that the board adopt a policy regarding addition items to the agenda and create timeline for when items will be brought up to regular board of selectmen meetings.
Yes. It's very difficult, and it is difficult for us to have somebody just walk in and say, I want the Board of Selectmen to look at this and do something with it. Traditionally, it's nice to have something in, say, the Thursday before the meeting, so that it can be scanned in, put on the agenda, so that everybody can see what it is and everybody have time to look at it. That's a series of procedures that the board in 2020 was looking at and just never finalized and got the time, so it might be something for us to bring out of the closet, dust off, run it around the parking lot. I will send a copy to the assistant, our assistant, and then if we can disperse it, yes.
I just. That ready in the public forum, or do you want us?
Do we want to sign this first? I need a better copy. Can we just do this for Friday? Do you think, Alyssa, we have a
Yeah,
better
that's-
copy?
yep.
Okay. So, excuse me, Madam Chairman, will you reach out to Alyssa?
Yeah, I
Let her
absolutely will.
know, and we'll have it all done.
Yep.
Thank you.
You ready for non-public, public forum? I make a motion to open public forum.
Second?
All those in favor? Aye. Who's first? Anybody got anything?
I got one letter,
Your letter.
the copy.
Oh, yep, I have that, thank you. And I gave you the copy that you asked for. Okay, that's good.
I have a quick question.
Go ahead.
Sure. Got a letter last week from Avatar saying my worth a lot of money. I'm meeting with them, well, through a phone call tomorrow. Is there anything I should be aware of before talking to them?
So, Mr. Doremus, what is it that you want to do in the meeting? Then, if you go onto the website, which is what I assume, did you make your meeting date through the website?
Yes.
Okay, on their website, they give you a lot of information on sales and how they got some of their data and how they have comparable properties there. So it gives you a way to look at different things to see how they got their data. And that might give you a better idea when you're going to speaking to. If you're contesting your value, you're going to need to understand what it is that you're going to show them, as to why your value is different than what they say your value is.
Your specific building. And hierarchy, that's that.
If you have a recent bank appraisal, that might help you, but it would need to be within the last year or two. The sales go back just a few years, but, I reached out to Evan and Carrie. Evan Roberge and Carrie, are the assessors and the assessor supervisor for Avatar, to ask them a few questions. Because I said we'll probably get some questions, and I wanna make sure that, I tell everybody, you need to go to Avatar. If you have questions on your property value, take them to Avatar. They're the ones who created the property values. They have all the data, they have the sales, they have the comparable properties. They created all of that. So he says, yes, they want to be the ones answering questions. They're the ones doing the assessing work, and they know the sales. The hearings are scheduled for this week. So therefore, if anyone has questions regarding their assessments, they should be following the process, the letter, and making an appointment to speak with the assessor. Please know that if there are any taxpayers, anybody at all that cannot fit into this time frame of this week, and that you call, you come in, Paul has volunteered to be the point person. He'll take your name and number down, and he'll email that information to Carrie, and they'll get back to you in a couple of days. They'll go beyond that time frame of just this week, so that they can speak to you about your assessment. He said it might be a day or two because they're working in other towns, but they'll get back to people. They're not just gonna leave people stranded. Avatar contracted with the town of Croydon, and they started that in 2010. So that was quite a while ago. That's when Croydon converted to the Avatar software. So we have both the assessing software and the tax collector software. And let me tell you how many towns I've worked in, where you have a financial software, you have an assessing software, you have a tax collector software, and they're all different, and you gotta have all of these conversion formulas to make them talk to each other, and you spend days trying to get the data to work. It's a nightmare. So having the two platforms be one software is fantastic. Croydon has always chosen the 5-year plan with Avatar. They do offer a 1-year agreement, but if you lock into 5 years, it's budget friendly because you keep that same amount. Our budget committee, that's what they're gonna recommend. You save the money over 5 years. Choice is up to the town. You don't have to vote on the 5-year plan. You can vote on a 1-year plan, but it's kind of doesn't help your taxes, okay? And due to not having an assessing clerk, and we've talked about that before, we just don't have the resources. There's additional unplanned work, and that can cost some more money because Paul he's not an IT person, but he does IT. He's a town clerk and tax collector, and he wears so many hats. So they're picking up that slack too, until we're trying to get somebody in to wear that little hat for 10 hours a month or whatever it's gonna take to pull that together. So those were the questions I asked to get that information, because that seems to be the questions that people were asking.
Aaron, for tomorrow's meeting.
Yep. You're welcome.
Good one.
Bruce, coming to you as chair from the budget committee. This evening, we had a broker meeting and a request was brought from the budget committee that we suggest to the select board that we hire an IT consultant that upgrade our, or at least assess before doing any upgrading of our equipment here in town. The town now is in a better position with video and fiber running through the town, and most towns should be on it by this point. And we're not serving the population properly if we can't keep up our side of it. So, we're going to look for a consultant first. And once I have an idea of the cost, I'll put back to the board and present a formal, request at that point.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mike, once you guys remember, go over and the culvert that didn't need to be replaced on Cash Street is complete, so it's back open to traffic.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
And I saved a day of rental and the machine to put in at Tuesday for such a one.
Thank you. Anybody else?
I'm curious, came in last week to look at the meeting minutes in the book out front. Cause there was nothing online that was posted since like July. When I came in, the last meeting minutes in here were June 25th, I believe. I did bring it to Paul's attention. I don't know if the book has been updated.
He maintains the book, so once we sign them here, they go out there to go in the book. And they're updated online immediately. So
This
there's
is not
draft
in-
minutes out there.
There's nothing online. But why was it not in the book since June 25th?
I can't answer that. You'll have to
Yes,
ask them. I just said Paul.
Paul does the meeting minutes?
Once they are signed here, then they go out there and Paul puts them in the book.
Okay, let's see. He didn't say it was a.
I can't speak for him.
It's not real.
Oh, well, it's me, so it's every time I come. So Joseph brought up a couple of points, as far as him being micromanaged, and I've heard a lot, I've seen a lot. I think there's some conflicts of interest that are going on. Carlton, I know last year before the school meeting, and I got a confrontation with him at one of those meetings when I asked too many questions about why we were cutting the trees behind the school. And he had said at that point, he was talking to Rick Kimball about cutting the trees, and Paul said it straight that it had to go out for bid. And since then, he's taken Rick Kimball to look at culverts. I don't think that should be going on when his wife is a select board member. So I'm seeing that as a conflict of interest. People following Joseph around, I have that question too. I don't know what's going on with the board. And then we have the selectman here who's been cutting, well, Rick Kimball or his employee, someone, this is Kimball Truck, I've seen leaving with logs of, loads of logs. Do you have an intent to cut on your property?
They asked about it,
And when was that?
or we cut it,
And you were told,
wasn't necessary because it didn't exceed the limit necessary,
which is
10 cords.
10 cords. And how many on a log truck? Typically. 7, 8. And how many log trucks? How many log trucks do you go out?
I say for,
Thank you.
no,
I listened to the trees coming down. I listened to them last year. And in one of the previous meetings, someone else had to come and make out an intent to cut we're told that depending on how much it was, that they should still fill it out, and if there was no fees involved, fine, but they had to do that. So I'm just wondering why they have to do it, but you don't have. I'm just getting some conflicting
I did offer.
information.
Can I have
Fill on that?
a-
Did offer.
All right, so. Oh, yeah, that too. So somebody's concerned about Joseph being on private property, picking up rocks for the town to use. And yet we have a select board member that takes his, I believe, unregistered tractor and goes to the transfer station with it. There's a little liability there too. That's
He's been
personal.
spoken to, I didn't realize that was happening, he's been spoken to.
Well, there's a lot of things you don't realize that's happening.
There's a lot of things you don't know too, Norma.
I'm sure there is. That's why I'm asking questions, Amy. I try to get answers. And this is the attitude that I get every time I bring something up.
Connected all the time.
Okay.
You want the town insurance?
No, you are not at the microphone.
Thank you.
Anybody else? I make,
Cody Osgood, assistant road agent. I just have a couple questions. So when Amy and Kim, do you remember when you hired me?
Mhm.
And talked about the raise that was gonna happen in March? And then you guys said that it had to be a flat line budget?
Yep.
To the budget committee? Even though the budget committee hadn't been established yet?
There was advisory budget committee. Yes, go ahead.
So you guys both said, oh, we get raises, and then we didn't get anything. I know Joseph took the job at $1 less an hour to help you guys out in hopes of getting the raise in March. You didn't only take from me, you took from my family. We didn't get even a cost of living raise. And then the health insurance, it was, we talked about.
yeah, we did talk, and we offered it to you folks. We
It's
absolutely offered
$1,000
it.
a month for a family plan.
We're a small town, we don't have buying
Okay.
power.
Goshen has 11 miles of road, 2 guys. They pay $85 a pay period for a family plan insurance. Same stuff.
We have an insurance plan that we offer that is affordable for the taxpayers here. That is what we have.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask you a question. Do you know what a, certified culvert maintainer is?
I
You have it.
I had
Does
one.
Joseph have one?
Well, he does. I let mine go.
So in order to replace a 4-foot culvert, you have to have that certification.
Actually, no,
And
it's
we've been
anything under
begging,
5. It's anything under 5 feet for the paperwork.
I just need to say there's 2 sides to every story. Stories around town that are just being made. Okay, I can't do this.
Just to
Hold on, we're not gonna start,
I
Give me-
see that.
just give me 1 second.
Give
give me, point of order, give me 1 minute. We're not gonna start just doing the kangaroo court and everybody coming up and barking all at the same time. 1 person at the mic, please. And you can go, that's fine, but can we have 1 person speaking, please? Thank you.
You want me to answer that question?
So what,
That goes to.
my point is, it was never brought to the board's attention that a large culvert like that needs certain permits.
I speak on that one, please.
Sure.
You know what it would cost this town to get it certified
I, d-
and follow the state rules?
no, but I know,
Had
I
any
didn't
clue.
get voted into
You
this
have any
position.
clue?
I didn't get voted into this position.
United Construction or Teasel, Stevens,
Wait a minute.
somebody when
I
that.
know,
or-
we don't need to be attacked.
I mean,
I'm not attacking no one. I teamed
we
up
have
with
done
the
nothing
town.
but save this town money in the last 7 years.
Maybe
You get it,
maybe
you
have to.
want to get certified? You want these guys certified? Everything they do, they spend more time doing paperwork to dig a ditch in this town, get wetland permits. And,
If we're gonna.
and as far as the ditching material, sooner or later, we're gonna be doing what the state has to do. They have to take it to a dump station because it's considered hazardous waste.
Unfortunately,
And
unfortunately.
so, as long as it can get put on somebody's property and they don't use it, that should be left alone.
Shouldn't.
Oh,
It's
it
a
should?
liability job.
Well, then you better start raising the taxes to truck it all over the country.
Okay, and then does
That's
that
how you
make,
want
Hold on.
Wait, wait. Go ahead.
just,
Cody, are you finished?
A couple other things, but the culvert maintainer actually goes to him more than me.
Okay,
to save us on the culvert maintainer, I teamed up with Mike Martell. And he is certified, so he can come and help us do a culvert and his
Did you tell us
certification.
that?
Did you guys ask? No, all you do is correct.
You know,
You-
you're
hold on.
a agent, you're supposed to tell us.
Wait,
so wait. You literally complained about people asking you questions and following you around to see what was being done 8 minutes ago. Now,
That's
hold on. Now you're asking us to ask you questions. Do you understand how that doesn't make sense?
Well, being followed around with pickup with ditching material is a little bit excessive. Okay?
Okay.
Matter of fact, Kimball got kicked off a private road because he was following us in it.
I know nothing of it. I don't know anything
A
about
lot.
private road
Yeah.
or.
But, and it's not a big, Mike Martell is certified, okay, he's the only one certified with his group, he carries it for everyone, no different than Kerry Whipple with his with his septic license or culvert license or anything, Kerry holds the license, but all of his employees can put it and install it.
So again.
So I made sure I was okay to do that culvert.
We've asked for a road agent report so that we could understand what was going on.
I just did the culvert, and this culvert.
All we asked was for a report. We asked so we knew what was going on, so we didn't
And
have to ask you questions.
in the letter,
We didn't have to
You wanted
say-
a daily report of what we do daily.
You,
I did.
I talked to you, that was a mistake, and you know that.
There's a lot of mistakes on your guys' behalf, and you don't own up to it.
Okay.
I'm just gonna speak one thing to
Cody.
to Joe before Cody comes back on this, but, never mind. Joe, I understand your frustrations, but at the same time, we did request that you come to one meeting a month, right? And that was numerous months ago, right?
Yep.
How many times have you been in this room in the last 6 months?
Well, I used to stop wasting my time because you guys are going around questioning
It's,
everything I do.
but hold on,
I come here, when I got Rick Campbell and Carl Newton following me around and telling me not how to
It's
do
not
my
even
job.
like that.
I got a video of Rick Campbell,
It's not even-
he covered it up with leaves because it's so embarrassing.
that wasn't the question, sir. The question was, and since you are still an employee of this town currently, were you requested to come to one meeting a month?
Yeah.
How many did you come to over the last 6 months?
A couple.
And that's how many short of one meeting a month?
Me and Amy had an agreement that Russell was gonna speak on my behalf.
Hold on, we don't play the telephone game here.
Well, I'm just saying,
Russell is not the town employee. You are, sir.
she had an agreement with you that he could speak because.
We
I
can all
brought
have
him
agreements.
in the report, and he came to you because of my issues.
One person does not make the decisions of this board. It doesn't matter if they're the chairman or not.
That's why I stopped coming. Mr. Edwards got out of that, that's why he started coming here. For my behalf.
And I spoke with Mr. Edwards at the last meeting, and I said the same sentiment, did I not?
And that's why I'm here.
But do you understand how this doesn't work now that you've issued your presentation?
We didn't, that.
Well, from me personally, I wish this would have gone a different way, and it very well could have. But apparently there's falters on both sides.
Yeah, a lot.
A lot, you're right. A lot of falters on both sides, maybe.
Absolutely.
Go back to Cody.
Thank you, Cody. Go right ahead.
And then what really irritated me, I texted Kim about it, because I wanted to see the paid holidays and stuff, but you guys tried to not pay us the 4th of July, that fell on a Friday. We were told we weren't gonna get paid for the 4th of July, because it fell on a Friday, and we don't work for it, and we work 4/10,
Well, as a national holiday, they for
but they were telling us we weren't gonna get paid. So So I did some research on that, I called all the towns around. We have 6 paid holidays. Every town around goes 11 to 13. So why are we so far behind on that?
So that's when we started doing some research on the, in the files, and we found a contract, which you had never signed.
I signed no paperwork.
You did not sign a contract with any holidays or pay or overtime. Mr. Bolio Junior did when he was the assistant road agent. I found that in the minutes. Mr. Bolio Senior did when he was appointed as the road agent when Mr. Scanlon was appointed. But you did not sign anything. We did not even know what the holidays were.
I signed an I-9 and a W-2
That's
report.
right,
That's all I signed
that's all you
paperwork. I didn't sign a personnel policy, which by law you're supposed to have.
I agree.
There's, I mean, a whole bunch of paperwork that I didn't sign that I should have signed to be hired correctly.
So we've been trying to work on that. As a matter of fact, I believe it was in November of 2024 that job descriptions were dispersed and we got no feedback to even begin any. So again, we go back to going back and forth, we're going back and forth, we're trying to find all of the information, and it's been very difficult to find the information. So we wanted to work on getting all of that together, but communication broke down.
And I guess the other thing that I'm up here is, that I want to talk about is, I like the raise that you guys have told us we were getting, and I'd like an affordable insurance. And with my daughter's health issues, I've got to think of the best course for me, and that's not here with no insurance.
I don't know what we can do about the insurance. We'd have to go, what we've got is what we've got right now.
It is.
So there's options out there. Was Lebanon different?
Lebanon's bigger, yeah.
Doesn't-
Lebanon's much.
Size of
bigger.
the town doesn't matter. Because you can get insurance,
Certainly matters with buying power. If
With
they have,
buying,
if they can, if they have 150
Actually,
employees,
changes, and one of the things is that it looks like the health insurance is going to take a big hit. So, they're actually in a union.
Yep.
And so their unions are negotiating. We don't have a union.
no, we don't. Okay, so we don't know what we're doing about the insurance, what are we gonna do about the money that was, we had talked about, and you guys pretty much told Amy and Kim both said, you will be getting raises in March.
And we tried. It didn't work. We were 2 people of a board of 5 and a budget committee.
The budget committee never knew about the raises that were even asked.
I believe the budget committee said there were no one was getting any.
I was at the budget.
But at the time, the budget committee wasn't even established.
Yes, it was.
Yes,
it
is
was.
the budget committee's been established.
How come they didn't know about the raises though?
They had said no one was mentioned.
Okay, so let me ask you guys all this. Did you guys all get cost of living raises? Social Security did.
You just said, I don't.
You do that.
I do,
Yeah.
yeah. The stipend didn't change.
No, year before that.
I mean, how do you guys feel about that, not getting cost of living raise when everything goes up at your paycheck?
I've worked for the same person for 20 years, and believe me, there's been years that happens. Just the way it goes.
Obviously don't do this for the money, so.
No.
What are we gonna do?
Well, if you wanna come in and negotiate, then you can come in and negotiate.
But it would be back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't do employment and wage stuff out here. get on the agenda for 2 weeks, I guess. If that's as soon as you wanna do it.
Sooner than later.
Our next meeting is in 2 weeks,
Or
or not
I
2
think
weeks.
it's actually, if you have the extra,
Buffer.
it's the 14th of October.
Yeah,
Does that work for you?
That's if you, that's when your meeting is, it kinda has to, doesn't it?
Yep.
Not trying to be smart, but
Neither am I, man. I'm asking, does that work for you? Would you like that date, or is there something further down the line? you'd like?
and know that our non-public sessions happen at the end of the meetings. And so it would be
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
I'm sorry? Who gets threatened?
Out of order,
Don't
Joseph.
engage.
So if you're
Actually-
okay with that, I just want to
He's not,
know,
no, he
you have to
doesn't.
show up. Getting a, the board's welcome to come to getting it. But we schedule them for the end of the meeting because we end up going in the back room and that way we can discuss. So if the 14th of October works for you. Okay, we'll put him on the agenda.
thank you.
Thank you.
I make a motion to close public forum.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
What? You had cheat sheet?
Nope, I got it.
Okay.
Say 91A, colon, 3, 2. Matters which, if discussed in public, would likely affect adversely the reputation of any person other than a member of this board unless such person requests an open meeting. This exemption shall extend to include any application or assistance or tax payment, waiver, fee, fine, or levy based on inability to pay poverty of applicant.
I second.
All those in favor?
Roll call.
Amy Free,
Susan Kimball, yes.
Carlin, yes.
Kimberly Benhammer, aye.
Ed Spiker, aye.
What?
It's something here to get approved.
What he has to put it in the Wins, Realty, Corn Hill.
Did we all?
Yep, that's one of them.
What?
Yep, yeah, we did it. Yeah, yeah.
Did you still do it?
I have the.
I don't know if I can see it from here, but I'm gonna try it.
Yeah. Next Tuesday. No, this is great to see you. Thank you. I was just great. My classmate, in workshop, also, and I told her next week, and she thought I meant, the next day. She was on the class, and I didn't. And so I went on regular Facebook, I heard, next week, said some comparison, I've got 85 prayers. From all my friends, 85. And they're all coming. So I'm gonna wait till Thursday, and then I'm gonna send out another vote and say, thank you for all the prayers for my territory. Very much appreciable. Oh, yeah. There's not much else to do. You get a lot of passion. All the way back. I'm getting, you know, I need to craft about each other. Go a little home. You know, I'm out, but you don't have that. I'm gonna make turkey. You know, the only thing she does is make one before Saturday night. Well, I can do this there. I wanted to share. One type line you go. All right. Doesn't go high. they're not gonna crack my chest. I hope they're gonna do in Tennessee, one here, one down here, and two over here, before they even robotic. Yeah.
This is the town before, I would think that you're gonna have them.
Yeah.
That was no.
It should be getting better.
What happens to that? This should be all expenditures.
You know.
That's what I want to know. I want to know that.
So you know what I did? I got on Facebook and I sent it to the author, and he said, what a horse for.
I'm stupid.
I go in Sunday, for the blood thinners for 2 days, and then I go off on a meeting on at 8:30. And they can stop it. Yeah. Yeah. I have a ice cream Sunday, Saturday night, on, you know. So you see me for the book. I've been with the rap so long. When I'm diabetic, and I'm not gonna be able to take a sprinkle salt on my cucumbers. Yes. No salt. Okay. Stop by the house and visit me. Yeah. See you later.
Okay, so one second. One minute,
No, it's.
Make a motion to enter public session.
Second.
I make a motion to seal the non-public minutes indefinitely.
Second.
That's a roll call vote.
Amy Free Guy.
This is Kimball, I.
Ed Spiker,
Kimberly Burkham, aye. I make a motion to. Adjourn.
Second.
All there.
Aye. Aye.
He's got everybody's copy.
Nobody saw that. I wasn't on camera.
I didn't see it.
The feelings mutual.
Wait,
Oh, hey, tomatoes, anybody want tomatoes?
yes. Is it not like?
I've got a,